On February 1st, 1959, the hikers reached the eastern slope of a mountain called Kholat Syakhl. The name comes from the language of the local Mansi people. It is often translated as Dead Mountain. Despite its name, there is no evidence that the hikers believed the mountain was dangerous because of legends. They simply chose it as part of their planned route. The weather was becoming worse. Strong winds blew across the open mountain. Snow filled the air. The temperature dropped far below freezing. The hikers had planned to reach a nearby forest before making camp. The trees would have provided protection from the wind. However, they stopped on the open slope instead. Experts still discuss why they made this decision. Some believe they wanted to avoid losing altitude. Others think the worsening weather made it difficult to continue. As evening arrived, the group worked together to set up their tent. They dug into the snow to create a flat place for camping. Then they placed the tent on the hillside. Inside, they prepared for the cold night. They organized their equipment. They changed into warmer clothes. Some of them wrote in their diaries. Others took photographs. One of the final photographs shows the hikers working in heavy snow. It is believed to be one of the last pictures taken before the tragedy. As darkness covered the mountain, the wind grew stronger. Outside, the snow continued to fall. Inside the tent, the hikers likely talked about the next day's journey. Everything seemed normal. No one knows exactly what happened after that. There were no survivors to tell the story. At some point during the night, something caused the hikers to leave their tent. What that something was remains one of the greatest mysteries in modern history. The mountain became silent once again, and by the next morning the lives of all 9 hikers had changed forever. The hikers planned to send a message after completing their journey. Days passed. No message arrived. At first, no one was worried. Winter expeditions often took longer than expected. Bad weather could slow even experienced hikers, but more days passed. Still, there was no news. The families became anxious. Friends at the Ural Polytechnic Institute also became concerned. Finally, a search team was organized. The first rescuers were volunteers. Many were students who knew the hikers personally. Soon, experienced mountain guides joined the search. Later, the Soviet military sent soldiers, aircraft, and search dogs to help. The rescue teams searched through deep snow and freezing winds. The work was slow and difficult. Every step was a challenge. Then, on February 26, 1959, the searchers made an important discovery. High on the snowy slope, they found the hikers' tent. But something was very wrong. The tent was empty. No one was inside. Food was still there. Warm clothing was still inside. Boots and personal belongings had been left behind. It looked as if the hikers had left in great haste. The rescuers looked more closely. They noticed long cuts in the side of the tent. Experts later concluded that the fabric had been cut from the inside. This raised a frightening question. Why would experienced hikers leave the safety of their tent in the middle of a freezing night? The search had only just begun. The greatest mystery was still waiting to be discovered. The rescuers followed footprints leading away from the tent. The footprints were easy to see in the snow. They appeared to have been made by people walking, not running. Some footprints showed bare feet. Others showed socks or a single shoe. The trail led toward a small forest about 1.5 kilometers away. Near a large cedar tree, the search team made a sad discovery. They found the first 2 hikers. The men were wearing very little clothing. Nearby, there were signs of a small fire. Broken tree branches were found above them. It appeared that someone had climbed the tree. Perhaps they were trying to see the tent, or perhaps they were looking for help. No one could be sure. As the search continued, 3 more hikers were found between the cedar tree and the tent. Their positions suggested that they had been trying to return to their campsite. Sadly, they never made it. The remaining 4 hikers were still missing. The snow was too deep. The search continued for weeks. Finally, in May, after the snow began to melt, the last 4 hikers were discovered in a nearby ravine. Their bodies were buried under several meters of snow. Some of these hikers had severe internal injuries. Medical experts reported serious damage to the chest and skull in some cases. However, there was very little damage to the outside of their bodies. This puzzled investigators. How could such serious injuries happen without many visible external wounds? The discoveries raised even more questions. Instead of solving the mystery, each new clue made it even more difficult to understand.